Hello friends, thanks for watching. My name is Alfred and this is my channel, and I'm with Summit Beacon, and we talk and teach about credit. Today's topic is, can I build credit without a credit card? Now, can you build credit without a credit card? Well, let's take a look. Let me help you understand if that is actually possible. Now, credit is super important. Having good credit, having a good credit profile, having a good credit score is going to benefit you and your family in the long run, because what's happening is we're moving into this digital age, whether you like it or not. We're moving into this digital age where you have this report that's associated with you, and it's all based on many factors. And one of the factors that it's based off is basically it's going to go off your credit report, and then actually your credit history, how you maintain and how you manage your credit, your financing, your payment history, your usage, your utilization. All of this gets factored into what is going to be called your credit report. And it's super important because your credit report will generate a credit score. And what I've been finding out, what my clients have been finding out, is that it's becoming more and more prevalent. For example, I just have I actually have several clients that have called me and have told me that they're having trouble getting into an apartment because the apartment complex is not only doing a background check on you when you apply, they're also doing a credit report check, and they're checking your credit score. And they will tell you whether you have the ability to get approved on their application process. And if you haven't experienced that yet, I'm just letting you know that credit card companies apartment companies are actually looking at credit scores nowadays. So whether you think your credit is important or not, I'm here to tell you that it is. Because if you need to try and go out and get an auto loan, or if you need to go out and get a home loan, your credit report is going to be it's going to be part of the application process. It just is. And so with that said, there's many ways to build a credit report. To build your credit. And there's many ways to destroy your credit. But I'm going to talk about how you can build your credit. And one of the things is a question that I get asked, not too often, but I get asked once in a while: can you build a credit report without can you build credit without a credit card? Well, what do you think? Can you build credit without a credit card? A lot of people say that you need a credit card to build credit. Now, it is true that that's probably the best way to build credit, is to get a credit card, use it wisely, use it responsibly, and you will build good credit. But can you do that without a credit card? My answer is yes, you can. Yes, you can build your credit without a credit card. And I'm going to tell you about three or four ways that you can build your credit without a credit card. One of them is actually a student loan. If you're young and you are going into college, or maybe you're older and you're going back to school to get some trade knowledge, you get some teaching, going to the local community college or a four-year college or university, and if you happen to get a student loan, which you can, it's not as difficult to get a student loan because you're providing information that you're actually going to become a student. And so with that, they usually do give out student loans. And if you get accepted for a student loan, that actually can help you build your credit, because it's going to be a loan where someone's going to give you money, some type of institution is going to give you money, and then you're going to be obligated to pay back this money on a time frame, whether it's a once a month payment, twice a month payment, however it's set up, and however long the duration of this term is. You're going to be making payments, and when you do make payments on a timely manner and and doing it responsibly, you're going to actually build your credit, and it's without a credit card, right? It is a type of a small loan, but that is one way you can build credit without a credit card. Another way is an auto loan, right? If you wanted to go buy a car, whether it's a brand new car or a used car from a dealership, you don't need a credit card. You could just go, and if you have good credit, or decent credit, you can go and get a small loan for a car. And if you're approved, it'll help you build credit, because it's a form of payment that you're going to be paying on. Somebody, whether it be a bank or credit union or some type of financial institution, is willing to give you money. And when they do, it's okay if you didn't have a credit card, as long as they're willing to do that. Then you're going to have this payment plan, like a 5 years, for example, 60-month payment plan. You're obligated to pay, I'm just making up a number, $350 a month. And if you do that on a continual basis, you're actually creating a good payment history, because you're paying down this loan, you're paying it on time, and you're making the minimum payment that actually looks good. And therefore, you're establishing credit, again, without a credit card. Does that make sense? So that's two means: a student loan and an auto loan. And another one that believe it or not, can help you, you may or may not know, is actually your rent payment. So some services report rent payments to credit bureaus. I'm not saying all of them. So you kind of got to know if this is going to be a benefit or not. But either way, if you're renting, you should pay your payment. You should pay your rent, your monthly rent. But a lot of times, the bigger companies, the bigger rental companies, are going to they may report your monthly rent payment to a credit bureau. And with that said, is if you're constantly making on-time rent payments, you're not late, and you're making your obligation on time, then that's going to report that you have become a good customer. You're a good client. And so it's going to help you in your payment history, because your payment history is 35% of your credit score. If you're not aware of that. Whatever kind of payment history, auto, credit card, rent, student loan, mortgage, whatever, making your payments on time, on a timely manner, it's going to reflect good for you on your credit score. So you want to be able to make these payments on time. And when you do, even though it's not a credit card, it will reflect good on your score. So that's one way you can maintain or even create credit, by rent. Not saying every apartment complex is going to report that, but maybe some of the bigger ones, if you're in a big apartment complex, they may report rent. If you're paying rent to like a personal independent landlord, he may not report that to the credit bureaus. I'm speaking of like a large apartment complex of some sort. So just know that if you're involved with the complex that is a large apartment complex of some sort, a large corporation, they may report that to the bureau. If you're renting from Mr. and Mrs. Jones down the street, they may not. So I'm just saying this is possible. Okay, another way that you can that you can establish credit without your own personal credit card is what is going to be called a secured credit card, or credit builder loans. No, I'm sorry, I misspoke. This is kind of a personal credit card, but it's a secured credit card. So what that means is you can establish credit through a secured credit card. Now, there's secured credit cards and non-secured. A non-secured credit card is when you go ahead and apply for a credit card, and they don't require collateral. They don't require a down payment of any sort, because your credit is good. So they'll give you a limit. That's a non-secured credit card. You've already proven to them by your past actions that you are worthy of a credit card without collateral or down payment. Okay, but a secured credit card is different. You may not have the ability to prove yourself to this credit card company to give you an unsecured credit card. So you need a secured credit card, which means that they require a down payment or a deposit from you. So let me give you an example. Let's say you need to get a credit card. You can't get an unsecured credit card, but they offer a secured credit card. So you pay them, I'm just going to throw out a number, $500. You give this credit card $500. They hold your $500. Now you have a $500 spending limit. Now you can use this credit card up to $500 every month for months on end if you pay them back responsibly. You pay them back responsibly and on time. And if you do that for a while, you're going to establish good credit. And what's going to happen is they may possibly reward you with an unsecured credit card later and give you maybe a different credit card with maybe $1,000 limit or a $2,000 limit. So that's one way to establish credit without it is a real credit card, but without an unsecured credit card, is through a secured credit card. I hope that makes sense. So there's two kinds, right? Unsecured doesn't require deposit because you establish yourself as a good client. secure does require a deposit. You need to give some skin in the game, so they require some of your own personal money to get you going. So let's go ahead and recap these methods that you can do to establish credit without a credit card. And the number one is going to be a student loan. We went over that, right? You can establish credit through a student loan. The number two way is going to be through an auto loan. Might not be able to get this super high valued car, but a small loan like a used car or a smaller car, you might be able to get approved with that without a credit card. That'll help you build up credit, auto loan. And then another one is going to be your rent payment, like we discussed. Now, when I just say rent payment, I don't mean it in general. So just kind of take that under caution. I don't mean if you're renting it from grandma and grandpa down the street, they're renting you a house or a room. Those may not get reported to the bureaus. I'm talking about a big apartment complex of some sort that is receiving rent from you, but they are a big corporation where they do send your payment history to the bureaus. That may help you out. And then the last one that we talked about is a secured credit card, which you can get, but it requires a deposit or a down payment as collateral. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's a nugget in your file that you can get good credit. You can establish credit without a credit card, and those are the means and methods. So if you like this context, if you like this type of information, I'm going to continue to do more like this as the days come on. I have a lot of videos in the background. You can look on my page. So if you're watching me on Instagram, I would appreciate it if you would follow me. Place a comment if you have a comment about this. If you're watching me on YouTube, I would highly appreciate that you would like it and that you would subscribe. Again, if you have any questions or comments, throw it down in there. If you need help restoring or repairing your credit, that's exactly what I do, and I'm here for you. I can connect with you and help you and get you on the path to good credit. If you're watching this on Instagram, direct message me and I'll get back to you. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to my website, email me, and then I'll get back to you. But again, I appreciate your time. I hope this helps you, and I hope that you are blessed and that